We're in Kingsburg. We're going to record the podcast, but before we do that, Gilbert got his second Model Y, this one, the blue one, and we're going to talk about the differences, even just in the few months that happened between 2020, late 2020, early 2021. We're in the red Tesla. When did you get this car?
I think September.
September?
Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, there's already been some upgrades to, what are we now, March 2021? Mm-hmm. And it's not all of the expected updates. You got the heated steering wheel, you got the new interior, but you did not get the new headlights.
Correct. Yeah, so I think the heated steering wheel actually started shipping right after I got this one. So maybe around November of last year, of 2020. And for 2021, this was already considered a 2021 model by then. They added the heated steering wheel to most of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
For example, Javier got his later than I got mine.
Right.
I believe still in 2020, and it's still considered a 2021 model.
Sure.
And he got the same center console. And he got the same. He did not get the heated steering wheel.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And actually, I really like the heated steering wheel a lot. For someone, shockingly, I use it because I have arthritis in my hands, and it actually helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I consider it an accessibility thing.
Very cool. So this steering wheel will primarily be your wife's steering wheel.
Actually, she's liking that one, the other one more, because she really appreciates the center console differences. They're a little bit better for him.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Let's talk about the center console then. Yeah. So you've got the charging pad, and if I lift it, right, or do I have to open this first and then I lift this? We've got the ports. Let's see.
Well, right now there's the Jetta USB hub in there. And
okay.
So that it gives you like a false wall. So by default, the ports are actually toward the front of the car.
So I could pull this out.
You can pull that whole thing out, and that actually hides my drive for my Sentry mode and dash cam.
Nice.
And it also gives me 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports, I believe all of which are powered.
Nice.
And then you just reroute the thing that you're flipping up, the cover.
Yeah.
That's the dual Qi pad.
Yeah.
And you actually plug that Qi pad in. I have it there because I pulled it out because I switched SSDs.
Oh, okay.
I went to those little SanDisk Slim ones or Slim ones that are super small, only 250.
So this cable,
I didn't want to waste a nice SSD.
Yeah, this cable is powering the Qi charger.
Right.
Now you've done something here. You've added this wood grain. Who is this from?
I think Teslarati.
Teslarati, and it matches the wood grain of the panel pretty well.
Right. It still looks cheesy, I think. But the problem is it's better than. The reason why I think they changed this center console is because it was really frustrating, like how Tesla's famous for using, especially like when the Model X released, they're famous for using really, really shiny black plastic. Oh yeah, like a early 2000s electronics device. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just a fingerprint magnet, dust magnet, and scratch magnet.
Oh, and yeah, scratches are crazy.
Exactly what we were experiencing here. And if you look above the Qi pads, there's actually a door that's flipped up.
Oh, right.
You can close that. So it does, when it's all one, it looks good. But you can see, like, even the edges are coming up because I didn't heat treat it yet.
Oh, yeah.
And the cup holder one.
I would not have noticed if you wouldn't have said something, though, I will say.
Yeah.
So you said you've got a second one of the cup holder one. You were going to tear it up and you were going to allow me to be the person to do the honors.
Just the cup holder one.
Just this one. All right.
So while you're doing that, under the door, under the Qi pad, there's a ton of storage space back there. And you'll see where I have the accessories under the door that you're dealing with.
And this is a little cup holder.
Yeah, that's also from Teslarati. That's just it's just tension fit in there. And that cup helps us, give us a shelf basically.
Yeah, you don't have to dig all the way down.
Yeah, because it goes quite deep. And you'll see on the other one, you do sacrifice some of that storage space. It's on there pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong adhesive.
Yeah.
Oh, I tore it.
That's all right.
But this is the original interior, the glossy black.
Mm-hmm. So they actually send you 2 of these of each sticker because they know how hard it is to put on correctly. And while I did put it on correctly, I was a little rough, like dealing with the edges around the cup holders. So I kind of like pockmarked it a little bit. So
you were going to do this one again, and then you said you heat treat it, take a hot air.
I have a heat gun. Because I used to do all those plastic wraps for the planes that I would build.
Oh yeah.
The covering, and I'm sure a good hair dryer would work as well. Nice so far.
This will not end up on peeling feeling.
This
Reddit.
was less pleasurable. And then you see in that center console portion, I put that cup there as well. That was aftermarket too, and I think that was from Teslarati too. And you just have a ton of space under there.
Yeah, this fits really, really well in here.
And you'll see because
the felt feeling is very cohesive with the built-in felt.
And then one thing you should point out is by your leg on the side here of this center console.
Yeah.
Do you see how on the side of this part that closes, it's stitched and it's covered with leather?
Yeah.
They actually carry that theme all the way through the sides on the new one.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's actually, instead of being a hard plastic, they go back to the leather with the stitching.
Interesting.
So it's a lot classier in general, and the lip on the door that has the Qi charger is actually really small. So not that one, rather where you put your phones. Yeah, that lip.
Here. Yeah.
So a lot of people will actually miss it with their phones, and
the phone will fall.
If you don't have that shelf, it can fall quite deep.
Yeah.
And you end up kind of screwed.
Funny.
So that's the one difference. And like you said, the heated steering wheel. If you go into the climate menu, which is the fan, and then you go to the heated steering, the heated seats, all on the left, that whole menu, you'll see that you get you don't have a heated steering wheel button there. And on the new one we will. So far this menu is only heated seats.
Okay, so we'll take a look at that in the other car. Is there anything else worth pointing out in this car?
One couple small minor differences. One is where you're sitting, the seat rails themselves.
Yeah.
So those seat rails go straight down pretty much.
Yeah,
slight taper forward, like from the bottom up.
Right here.
Yeah, and you notice that the 3D
floor mats.
I forget what the brand is. It's 3D something. But the floor mats are like cushioned all-weather mats.
Yeah, this is great.
Very, very well formed.
Yeah.
And they wash really well, so they're a lot better than the Tesla all-weather ones.
Yeah.
But notice how perfectly it fits.
Yeah, this is right up against it.
So when we look at the other one, you'll see how since they modified this and they like kind of tapered it in.
It kind of goes that way now.
Yeah, it's like a cliffhanger, like an overhang on a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had to make them a little bit longer. So you'll notice that.
Yeah.
And then of course the headlights would be another difference, but as you mentioned, like the way Tesla does things is sometimes piecemeal. So even though I have all the newer stuff.
Yeah, like we've got the new interior pieces, we've got the new steering wheels in stock. They just didn't have the new headlights.
It's like whatever they have, they'll throw it in there. But aesthetically I like the quote older headlights more. But the new ones are a little bit brighter in some situations, so people wanted them. Again,
kind of accessibility.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll look at the other car.
So this is the new rail we were just talking about. Yeah, this kind of tapers this way, making this space down here. I'm getting the camera shadow in there.
So it adds an inch, and the company that sells those 3D whatever mats is also through Teslarati, and they said that they'll send you the newer ones, which are slightly longer, for free if you order them now.
Yeah.
But I tested my current ones in here, and they're fine. I'm not even going to worry about it because they have such good texture on the bottom that they never slide around.
Yeah.
Even taking them out is very difficult.
So is this considered the Tesla all-weather?
No, that's
this is the standard.
Yeah, carpeted floor mat.
Cool.
And then if you look at we'll get to the center console. I'll come around.
Yeah, just looking at this is totally different.
Yeah,
this is
it's completely redesigned. So
I like its not glossy.
Yeah, it's so much nicer. It's closer to what the Model S was. It's a little bit different now, but basically the same thing. There's a couple things that you'll note, like for example, the Qi charging mat doesn't have a door there anymore.
Yeah, this is just solid. So to get in, it's just this one, and you just push it open.
Yeah. So pull out that cup in there.
So you've got another cup holder-y.
And this one is actually the stock Tesla one.
Oh, this comes with.
Nobody made any that fit this yet.
Okay.
And they were only $20 for the pair. So if you reach down in there, the USB ports are actually on the opposite side. So they were previously in the front, toward the front of the car, and now they're actually toward the back. Like
they're back here
now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you do actually lose a fair amount of storage space.
This goes fairly far forward, but not nearly as far as your previous.
Correct. And there's actually a false shelf under there. Did you feel it?
Yeah.
It's about a 2-inch high space that goes about 3 inches deep. So you could put like a false wall there and have like a little safe storage space.
Close it off a little bit.
Your,
interesting. But there's a light back there that you would close off if you. Well, I guess you're doing that with this little cup drawer.
Yeah, the light is. Teslas are the Model 3s and Y. The Models 3 and Y are notorious for having really dim LEDs.
Yeah.
So one of the most common upgrade kits that a lot of people buy is they buy an LED retrofit kit that swaps out all the ambient lighting in the footwell and the door wells and all that. And I'm assuming that they would include that eventually too. But I turn it all off anyway because I don't want any additional lights. That's actually one of the reasons why I prefer the Model Y and the Model 3 over the S and the
just too
X.
bright.
Yeah, and then the center console is distracting and all that.
Yeah, but I do like this new cup holder design too. The edges feel real nice.
So while you're pointing down, you see those those rings in the center of the cup holders?
Will it work with an Ember cup?
So I was like, what is the purpose of this? I don't understand, because it actually puts a little bit of a well between the ring and the edge of the cup. Yeah, the excess.
So you could get like water buildup, like even just condensation.
Yeah. So that already frustrates me. So if they already sell inserts for the other one, which does not have that problem. It's continuous surface.
Yeah.
So if they do have that, I will buy an insert because it looks like a little dog bone basically.
Oh yeah.
But did you see the stitching on the side? How different it is?
Oh yeah. It's quite a bit more continuous, like the stitching on the center console.
Yeah. So just cleaner, more elegant, and you see the closure is much nicer.
Yeah. So you don't pull it, you push it, and then it closes on its own.
Famously, on the other car, people would try to keep closing that center door. And after a while, the car would detect that you keep failing to close it because they would push it down. It's just a magnet that catches.
Oh.
So if you push it down, it actually releases, but people would often want to intuitively push it down to close it.
Yeah.
And as a result, the car on the screen would say, close it gently.
Yeah, the magnets will connect.
Yeah.
Speaking of the screen, you mentioned the new climate stuff, so it's under the fan. And then the heated stuff. Oh yeah, you've got the heated steering wheel, and then you still have the seats, and you just turn it all off really quick.
Right. And then the other thing is, in the app, it actually in the climate portion of the app, it actually gives you a heated steering wheel button as well.
Nice.
So you can do your scheduled departures and stuff like that
You still have the same system where if you have the AC on, you can like move it around. Does the app have this? If like someone was on, like the passenger was on the app, would they?
No, you can't direct the.
That'd be pretty funny though.
That'd be interesting. I wonder. Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to find out. So besides that, and the headlights and the wheels, or rather the seat rails, I'm not aware of any other differences. But it's worth pointing out. Like, it doesn't really matter, honestly. There are things I don't like about this new center console, but I think it's a net win. And like I said, they started it with the Model 3, and of course economies of scale, they probably wanted to unify them quickly.
Yeah.
So they were able to drop this in, and they made it much more efficient. And I appreciate that. That's perfectly fine with me. It means I can get more out and get it out, faster.
Yeah.
But I did have some issues with some minor issues, because Teslas, are notorious for bad delivery issues.
Yeah.
And I had actually a phenomenal delivery experience overall.
Oh, good.
But I did have some minor issues. Did you want to take a look at those real quick?
Yeah.
Overall, the car was pretty flawless. And in fact, when you and I actually had an opportunity to check it out before I even knew it was delivered.
When you were picking up the red car, yeah.
So, but there was a lot of stuff that was covered in plastic. But I think this one actually had a dent before it was delivered, because often when you go to a body shop, and believe me, now with the red one I have a lot of experience with body shops, they circle in this special marker, they circle the flaws, and it was probably just a micro dent that they were able to suction out, and it looks flawless, but they left the marker there.
Yeah,
they circled the flaw.
I see that little circle. Yeah,
so that's not a big deal, that wipes off. But above the right tail light, there is also you probably, I don't know if you'll be able to catch it, but there's a scratch that goes that's above the right tail light.
Yeah, right in here.
And that's only clear coat, fortunately, so it doesn't need to go to a body shop for that. That can be buffed out.
Oh, good.
And similar issue in the front. So similar issue in the front, except this one they scratched across the actual logo.
Yeah.
And because the logo, it's actually a pretty deep scratch. I don't know if you can see it on cam, but because the logo can't be buffed out, it's a piece of plastic, they're actually going to replace that, and then the rest they're just going to buff out of the front.
Crazy.
And then
just now we found one right here. It's kind of continuous. It's like a continuous line from the panels. But
and I can't say, because I took really meticulous video during delivery.
Yeah.
So I can't say that was there. I probably would have noticed it because I did look at all the trim really carefully.
Yeah.
So I think this one happened after delivery.
But yeah.
And then
still tough.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, like we were saying about the headlights, I know you got your B-roll for it, but they would have a tube toward the side closest to you. Yeah, right around there. There's a tube with I think a xenon headlight there that comes out, so it gives it a circle.
Yeah.
And they're brighter, they're more desirable, but I think aesthetically the way these lights look,
it's
they're
nice.
Cleaner, they're nicer.
Yeah.
And I've never had, they're already way better than most cars' headlights.
Yeah. And not only did you get this car, but you also got the car cover.
Right.
Because you only have space in your garage for one car.
Yeah, currently we have a studio in the other side of my garage.
Yeah, so listen to the Editor podcast or watch the Editor podcast to see us in the other car spot.
Yeah, because normally I would park both cars in the garage, but we're gonna keep one in the front driveway. I actually had a permit issue, so I'm having the chargers being installed soon.
Oh, okay.
Kingsburg, the city is just backed up.
Damn.
So yeah, I did get the car cover because I don't want it sitting out. But, like any car cover, like look how dusty it is.
Yeah, it gets dusty.
Because of that, it means that...
That's the California Central Valley for you.
And people use these things called, we've talked about them before, called California dusters.
Oh, yeah.
Which are basically scratch factories. Because
right.
You're just rubbing...
You're just pushing the dirt.
Yeah.
Across your clear coat or your glass.
So the problem with the car cover, and you already saw it in the front, you probably didn't catch it on film, but I already have swirls in my clear coat from it.
Oh, yeah.
And I know those swirls weren't there before delivery.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. But...
Yeah, it's hard, but just believe us, they're there. They're little micro swirls from pulling it up.
Because the car cover is very soft on the inside. It's like, it feels like baby clothes.
Exactly.
I think it's in the other. I got my camera box and my backpack back here, but this is the cover. This is the inside.
Yeah, and so
very
this is
soft.
the actual Tesla branded car cover. And it's got two important things about it. First of all, for the air intake that's in the front, it has a cutout, which you're looking at it right now. And because if the car is managing climate or doing anything while it's static and it's covered, that's the only source of air intake. So if you cover it, you can actually fry your electronics by putting an aftermarket cover on that
doesn't vent.
And I know all about frying the electronics because when this car, the red one, was repaired, they left it on and it didn't have any cooling system on because of the mode that it was in. And as a result, all my electronics overheated and they had to be replaced. Right, the whole panel. All the sensors, we've talked about everything. Yeah. So it wasn't a big deal because obviously the car, much of it probably would have been replaced anyway. But that's just something to be aware of with Teslas. Like you need that intake. Yeah. The other thing that it does is it has a little fold-away thing, a door for the charge port. Oh yeah, that was cool. I saw that, and it's like Velcro's closed. All right. And that means water will get in there, but it's you know, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing to notice is like how much room in the trunk it's taking up right now.
Yeah.
It comes with a duffel bag, like a carry case.
Yeah, I didn't fold it up
right
properly.
Yeah, so you can get it back in that case, but I think it's ridiculous to even try.
Yeah.
Frequently, because it just means that you're going to fight with it for extra minutes. So basically our strategy is we fold it casually and then we'll just put it in a plastic bin outside near our driveway.
Yeah.
And then as needed we'll put it on. But for the most part I don't think the cars are going to be covered, just for longer, you know, stints.
Yeah.
Like during all this rain and stuff, it was very helpful.
Yeah.
You know, you could see how much cleaner the red car is compared to the blue car.
Yeah,
The
just
car was out in the rain even though it was garaged.
crazy. So you said you wanted me to put this on your car and kind of direct me? All right, I'll hand the camera over to you and we'll see how badly I struggle with putting a car cover on. My attempt to put on the Tesla car cover, and Gilbert, feel free to yell at me if I'm doing something wrong.
So the first thing that makes it tough is like you don't remember where you had it folded before.
I mean, this is helpful.
Yeah.
This was helpful to know that was the front.
Right, and that's what's going to cover this air intake right here. Yeah.
And I know you said if I have to slide it, don't do it on the paint, do it on the glass.
Yep. Yeah, the more you slide stuff on your car, like the more scratches you're going to get.
Oh no!
As the cover slides off. So the very first time I did this, I measured how long it took me, and it was 94 seconds.
It's gonna take me longer than 94 seconds.
Yeah.
I've never done a car cover.
All right. It's like doing a fitted sheet. Also, it's way windier.
Okay, I'm gonna blame the wind then for it falling over. That wasn't. Okay.
Should we do a time lapse instead?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to speed this up. I feel like I should try to line up, although these are closed, I feel like I should try to line this up and that'll help with the rest of it. I don't know.
Go for it.
That's my guess as a novice.
But you know what? You're representative of most people who have never done it before, so that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're putting a fitted sheet on a mattress.
I feel like these are good anchor points. Or I'll rip off the mirrors, I don't know. So I'm gonna try.
So that one is way forward.
Yep.
So.
But now I'm sliding.
But you can, if you haven't hooked the corners on yet, you can actually hook the mirrors into there and give yourself the ultimate anchor point.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so you're fine.
All right.
Looking good.
Doing good so far?
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet. Here's the vent. Also, do you want to talk about the license plate clip you got?
Oh yeah,
we'll talk about that after.
What is it called? The Quick Bandit or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we learned about it from Potato Jet, right?
Yeah, he had a different one, but
no, it's the one you sent me from him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The whole thing is it like clips on to the vent.
Yeah.
And it gives you a way to have your front license plate removed very quickly.
But also gives you got one that gives you the ability to
mount a GoPro.
Mount a GoPro. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's pretty good.
Here's the flap you're talking about.
Right. So then it's going to be misaligned because I noticed that it's all a little too high right now.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You don't have a key or a charger.
Okay.
Yeah, the car would have to be unlocked. If you have the phone key on you, then you can open it.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the front with the vent. See how well that's lined up. I think you did pretty good, if I recall.
Yeah, this looks like that lines up pretty good.
Yep, it's a little high.
A little high. Yeah.
But it's perfectly good intake. And you see it's a little skew because you see the Tesla logo.
Yeah.
But you can see there's some bird crap up there.
Yeah, it saved your windshield from some bird poop.
And a ton of rain too.
Oh really?
Yeah. Had all the rain. So
how did this? It got rained on. How did it dry?
It doesn't really need to dry. It's like those swim trunks that
Oh, it just beat it up.
Yeah, it just went off.
That's awesome.
If I had some little folds like you do in the rear end there,
yeah,
the water will get caught a little.
Yeah.
But no big deal. I just shook it and it came off.
Yeah. So obviously this is too high. I feel like this needs to line up with this edge, and the Tesla logo would line up here. At this point, it's on, and if I yank it, it's gonna...
Yep, you said it. Like, it's that choice between making it perfect and ruining and sliding it on the paint.
Yeah.
And it being good enough, which it totally is.
Sandpaper's choice.
Yeah, I should note that this is the outdoor version. Did I say that already?
Maybe not. But this is the outdoor cover? Okay.
Yeah, so it's $300. And I'm sure you can get aftermarket ones for way cheaper. Just make sure that they have the vent cut out and the charger cut out.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
So would you buy another Tesla car cover, or would you buy a third-party one?
Based on what I'm seeing on this, I would buy another Tesla car cover.
Okay.
Because I've had car covers before, and they've all been really crappy and cheap, you know, and they've fallen apart and from baking in the sun, and I just feel like this is such a
do you feel
cleaner
like
choice.
This is going to hold up after years of sun baking and obviously eventually it's going to break down.
Yeah, the sun will win.
The sun
always
destroys all. So.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. We have extremely sunny days here and extremely high heat.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to how the climate overheat protection will work.
Inside?
Yeah, because I have that turned on, because same thing, you could overheat your electronics and stuff like that. It's like, you have to think about the Tesla as like a rolling iPad.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it is, a gadget, which is why geeks like them so much.
And iPads overheat in direct sunlight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. Okay,
so guide me what I should do to take this off with minimally scratching here.
All right, so start by taking off all the corners and just like don't throw them onto the hood. Just let it take off the tension. Yeah. Right there. Perfect. That's actually dead on perfect. Yeah.
I feel like the plastic of the headlight is kind of a good...
Right. And the more it rolls up before you start doing the rest of it, the worse.
Yeah.
But right now it's perfect.
It's kind of sliding a bit, yeah. All right, so I should do the back corner. And even though this is like white and soft, and I feel like I should protect this, like obviously I just flip it inside out. Better this than the car, right? Mm-hmm. How far up do you think I should go for the tip?
You're pretty close. The whole point is so that it doesn't automatically scrunch onto itself. Yeah. So that's good. I really like the C70, Kyle. Yeah. It's the first Canon camera besides their cinema where it feels ergonomic for me because of the grip.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so what next? Now that I've got the corners up.
You've got the headlights hooked in, so because you may need to unhook them for this next step, because you're going to take each end and fold it into the center. Each long side and fold it toward the center.
Each long side, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of... Work that up. So I'll take this long side.
Perfect. Yep, right to the center. No, don't double it. Don't double it.
No?
Nope.
Okay. All right,
just one and one.
All right.
And the whole point of this process is to prevent you from having to
overthink what.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now once they're both in the center.
Yeah.
You can choose because you're going to take another long side and fold it in half on the long edge.
Okay.
So choose which side you want to fold toward. So I do toward the driver's side, so I'll take that end and fold it toward the driver's side. Yep.
All right.
All the way across. And this method is designed for not putting it back in the little bag that it comes with.
Yeah. And then just...
Is it all the way... so it's even better folded. Yeah. The better you do this, the easier it'll be. And now take that end and start kind of rolling it. Don't be lazy and make big folds. Try to roll it all the way across the glass without sliding it. And you'll see because you folded it one direction, it favored one side. But also you're only pulling it across glass.
Right. I'm not on the clear coat.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, this is excellent. And it also means that when you go to put it back on,
I'll know that that's the front.
Yep, and then you'll just drop it there and push that roll all the way across the car and reverse the process. So you can get it done in less than 2 minutes, really.
Yeah.
And that easily fits in a plastic bin, but it obviously doesn't fit in the Tesla bag. But I think that's a waste of time. That's an exercise in futility. It's like you're just torturing yourself.
All right, so that's the Tesla car cover.
We have a dog, and also we transport a lot of camera equipment.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to destroy all that.
All this nice felt.
So I'm not even going to tell you how this thing works. I'm going to have you just figure it out real quick. And basically, it's a cargo cover.
This is kind of rubbery, so I assume this is the part that goes down.
Right.
Has the little rubber anti-slip dots. Oh, okay.
Perfect.
I'm going to assume this part goes...
Other way. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's 180 degrees.
All right. I thought that part was going to flap over the...
It does do what you're thinking, just in a different place.
Oh. All right, we've got these straps, so I assume these are going to go around the headrest back here. And we can push this all the way back. Yeah, so we're now protecting the felt of the car. But yeah, we've got this skirt now. Yeah, does this flip over? And
you can, but also the whole thing is like it protects your bumper while you're putting stuff in.
Oh, okay. So
you had the right idea, just the different side.
All right, so like if we're throwing Pelican cases, camera cases in here,
or a bicycle or anything, and also it gives you the additional length where if you flip down the seats, so that when the seats flip down,
this will slide,
and it gives you some additional length and still covers the bumper.
Yeah.
So
you would load in and then you would just flip this up before you close the back. All right, that's pretty nice.
No need to put it away, but yeah, it stays in the back under that tire area, or the what would be the tire area.
Be the tire. Cool.
And we close it.
All right. So are you gonna leave that like regularly, or are you gonna keep it under the trunk space?
It depends on what ends up happening with like how we drive.
Yeah.
If I find that I'm driving one more than the other, then I will just leave it, because you and I are gonna need it all the time, and it's just worth it. But it really depends. I think.
And then for the 3D brand floor mats, you also, in the red one, you have one in the back, right?
Yeah, I got that same thing for this. So if you want to, on the red one, it's that same brand that made that really beautifully fitted. And then they also have one. I also have one in the side cubbies, which you can't really see because I'm underexposed for it. But and then one on the lower trunk, which is where you said the tire was.
Yeah. Do you even have a bottom?
And then they have an upper trunk, which is actually beneath the other floor panel. So a lot of people hide their drugs there. And then they have one for the frunk.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the ones for the upper and lower trunks for this time.
Yeah.
I got the cubbies, the back seat, front seats, and the frunk.
So what with all of the different pads, for this car, what did that total out to?
Okay, so this is actually a good point about Teslas. People look at the prices of Teslas.
Yeah. And
even though they're coming down,
like $40,000 for a base Model Y right now, but yeah, you're adding a lot of bits and pieces to it.
Exactly. So we talked about like the GPS HomeLink. On a Model S, it's standard, and you're paying a lot more for that.
Yeah.
But on a Model Y and a Model 3, it's another $300.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later. But to add the floor mats, if you want all 7 pieces, like I did for the red car, that's $540. But they're extremely high end. I've pressure washed them and let them dry, and they clean up perfectly. They're also cushioned, so they're way more comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they don't slide. They're extremely well textured. Like I'm sure everybody's dealt with sliding floor mats. And then they're a lot nicer than the Tesla all-weather ones. And the Tesla all-weather ones aren't that much cheaper.
Yeah.
So for the fronts alone, it's like $220 for Tesla. And then for these, if you just want the fronts, I think it's like $240.
Yeah.
But since I did the whole kit, but for the blue car, I skipped a couple of them, and it was like $450 for all the mats.
Okay.
And then that cargo cover that you just saw was $100, and I think worth every penny.
Yeah.
And I'll still use it for that purpose.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you're looking at like there's a whole bunch of little things. Like if you want a car cover, $300. If you want a home charger that isn't the one that's included.
Yeah, a level 2 or level 3.
Yeah, $500 plus the installation. For an electrician, and that's not cheap, right? And then you have the mats if you want all weather ones, and you have the GPS thing if you want that. You don't need any of that, but to me it's worth it. But basically, I think of buying a Tesla. You buy the Tesla and then immediately expect to spend $2,000 more, just for stupid crap, But it does make the experience better.
And it makes the experience better. And honestly, you'll run into this buying almost any new car.
Sure.
You go to the GM website, the Ford website. They've got tons of add-ons for any car as well. So that's just what it is specifically for the Tesla Model Y.
Right. Yeah, and it's not too bad. I mean, and actually Tesla's prices for their accessories they're not like a ripoff. Like they're in line with everybody else, even third parties.
Yeah.
Like I said, those 2 cups that I put in the center console, it was $20 for the pair.
Yeah.
So, and the ones the aftermarket ones in the red car were $35. Yeah. So actually the Tesla ones are cheaper.
Wow.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the GPS thing and how that works. Let's head out.
So as I approach Gilbert's garage door, it automatically triggers the garage door to open. But if I needed to manually open or close it, you could tap the HomeLink button and tap the button, and there it goes, it's closing. This is the 3D Bandit, a 3D printed clips onto the vent on the front of the car. So this will clip on and hold your license plate, so you don't have to like sticky it on or drill it on. And Gilbert got the cool one with the GoPro mount, so you just slap a GoPro on the front. Gilbert was saying he thinks a better design would be put the GoPro on the bottom, and there'd be less torque and weight on this bit. But we've tested out a little bit. It works all right.
Yeah, it's okay. So I guess we're gonna see my license plate. That's fine. A couple things you should note: there is a screw lock.
Yeah.
Right. And you just unscrew that, and then there's a lever. You just pull the lever, and it will open. It'll close the teeth.
Yeah.
And then you line it up with the vent, push the lever down, it then opens the teeth.
Yeah. The pressure goes outward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is like that vent is just plastic. Right?
Yeah.
So when you have your center of gravity with the GoPro up high, it means that the plastic is gonna wiggle a lot.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of motion. If they had put the GoPro toward the bottom, the center of gravity would have been lower.
Yeah.
You would have had to mount it upside down, but GoPros have been reconciling upside down since like day one almost.
Yeah.
And there's no problem. And you would have had a lot less wobble in general. And if you did have wobble, the wobble itself would have been smaller because it's not on the furthest part.
Yeah.
Of the radius, let's say.
The torque. Yeah.
So there's some design things they could have done differently, but I think overall it's a really nice thing to have.
Yeah, I think this is the best version of this right now.
Yeah, I mean, generally I don't put a license plate on front of my cars, and it's illegal in California.
You do need to. Yeah.
Yeah, and so people will throw them in their front windshield, but that's actually not legal either.
No.
It has to be visible.
Yeah.
So the idea is around Fresno they don't really care. Simply because of the way this Central Valley runs.
Yeah.
But if you do, basically, in most processes for most cities, is you get caught, you get a small ticket, and then you have to go to like a sheriff's office or a police station and show them. They have to sign it off like a fix-it ticket, and then they have to approve it, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So the idea is I would use this for GoPro filming and also for longer trips. Yeah, so if I go on a longer trip or park it somewhere longer term elsewhere, in a different jurisdiction, if you got a ticket there, you'd have to go back there.
Oh, dang.
So, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, we'll just put it on when we go.
Yeah, not a big deal. And I just bought one for both cars, basically, and I'll just swap them as needed.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah. Model Ys have a severe flaw, and Tesla knows it. And the reason I know it is because they sell 2 things that correct this flaw. And we're going to talk about it, because if you look at the way the fender wall is shaped, it actually, because of the drag coefficient and everything, it actually tucks behind the tire. Like if you look at it on this line, the line of the tire and the wheel extend beyond the fender wall.
Yeah.
Right? So toward where it meets the door.
Yeah.
You could even see that. You can't see the whole fender wall because the tire's covering it, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly the issue. That means that anything you run over gets shot up the side of the car.
Yeah.
You can see it right now.
Yeah. Boom.
Look at this white crap on the side. You could see lines from the white crap that got thrown up.
Yeah.
There are only 2 protective accessories, besides the car cover, of course, that Tesla sells for this car for everyday use. And they are front mud flaps and a specific cut of clear protective paint.
A couple of other accessories to wrap this up. This is the charger that you would get with a Tesla, the Tesla Connect.
Bought the mobile connect kit.
No, this is just the Tesla Connect.
The Tesla connector, yeah.
Tesla connector, and you would get the 110 plug, and that would plug in, charging at what, 4 miles an hour?
Yeah, 4 to 6 miles per hour.
Do you get this as well? You get okay, so you get this adapter if you're in the United States and you want to plug into like a charge point plug. This would plug into the port on the car, and then you know, you charge for what? How fast do those charge point ones do? Like,
oh, they can do just as fast as a 240 at home. So you know, around 20 miles per hour of charge, depending on which one it is.
Cool. Now
that's called the J1772.
J1772, and then the newer version that has like the Mickey Mouse ears on it is the CCS. Yeah, that's a much easier name to remember.
And also, it's a full level 3 DC fast charging capable, so it's can be charged way faster.
Yeah, but Gilbert, you got this extra kit that came with a whole bunch of fun extra connectors, including what's this one called?
That's a NEMA 1450, so that's
1450. Wow. So you could get up to like 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, around 40 miles per hour.
Sustained.
Charge,
yeah. We've also got some 30 amp plugs.
20 amp.
These small ones are the 20 amp ones.
20 amp 110. This one will do 30 amps. This one will do 240. This is like a typical RV plug, the NEMA 1030.
Oh yeah.
You said you might have that on your garage.
Yeah, my garage has one of these.
They were more common, but normally the newer versions of the 30 amp ones have 4 pins. And then this is a common 20 amp standard in the US with the right angle, with the 90 degree side. Same thing.
But the other side, right angled.
Yeah, this is another 1450, so another 50 amp one.
Crazy.
And then the other 30 amp one.
This might be the one.
I think that's the one you have.
That's probably the one I have.
And you see it has the little right angle pin connector.
Yeah.
That's how you tell the difference between the two.
Interesting.
And so the idea is, like, when you go on a road trip, you do have a good supercharger network. But
in the United States, yeah.
Yeah, but for the car that's going on the road trip, I would just throw this in the car.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, $400.
Whoa! But you do get all of these.
You get all of them.
Could you buy them piecemeal?
You can, and it would be like $1,000. So it's a significant discount compared to buying them individually.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then back here we've got the tire cover. Now, depending on how I cut this, we might keep the bit. You have an extra tire because of the repairs that have been done.
Yeah.
So this will kind of cover it up. Again, you use this more for like road trip purposes. You're not going to carry the tire with you.
Yeah, normally the tire would stay in storage, and I wouldn't take it with me. But the idea is, if you have a flat, Teslas don't have spares by default, and you would have to either have it flatbed or they give you the wheel of shame, like I talked about in some other time. But since I had all that stuff happen, I bought a refurbished wheel, which fits on these cars, and I had it mounted and all that stuff, and still wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
But worth it to have a quick full-size spare that's ready to go.
And then when you get these covers, you actually get 2 of them.
Yeah, because I think the idea is people would normally use them for their winter and summer tires. And
yeah.
So you typically would do pairs. People are rarely buying one spare.
Yeah.
So it's like $35 for the pair.
But we live in Central California, so we just use the all-weather, all-year round. How much was the covers?
That's $35 for the pair.
Oh, okay,
yeah, so
not bad.
15 a piece or whatever.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then there's this box. It says "Do not open. Schedule installation by Tesla app upon receipt." So this is a GPS unit, right? And as with most of your Tesla service, you schedule it through the app, but they don't want you to know where they're putting it?
Exactly. They don't even want you to see what it looks like. And, you know, I don't understand why they do have such a secretive process. But
it's not LoJack.
It's not like LoJack, yeah, where they had to hide it because they didn't want thieves to know where it was. But maybe there is some security issue, and that's why. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand why.
But you got it so that you can drive up to your garage, as we saw earlier in the video, and your garage, it just triggered and it opens.
Yeah, it'll open and close automatically based on your proximity to the, and you can change in the settings, you can change
how far,
and it handles multiple doors and gates. So if we drive up to the in-laws, which like I think I mentioned, I don't know, that I never want to if I can avoid it, but if we drive to the in-laws,
their gate would be triggered.
Their gate and stuff like that. So
okay. And then are there any other like home accessories that it does, or is it really just like gates, garages?
No, but one cool thing is, you know, a lot of people have remote garage door openers. Like I have the My Chamberlain Connect kit. That gives me remote access to my garage doors for opening and closing.
Yeah, over Wi-Fi.
Yeah, through the Tesla app, it actually will give you the HomeLink button inside the controls menu in the app.
So you have one less app to...
Yeah, so you could theoretically, as long as your car is in the garage, you can open and close your garage door from your car instead, remotely.
Interesting.
So, just
and then there's a lot of Siri shortcuts in the Tesla app, so you could probably create a shortcut to trigger it.
Yeah, there's apps like Tessie and Nikola. Tessie I think is great because it has deep shortcuts access.
Yeah.
And that app will actually, you know, once it notices your car open the garage, it can turn on your lights, unlock your doors. It can do all kinds of, you can have proximity-based shortcuts just trigger from that.
All kinds of, rather than burn your location services on your phone.
Exactly. So you have it has a lot of different ways of interacting with it. But I find it's worth it because it's a security thing. Like a lot of people leave the remotes in their cars. Yeah. And people can just smash your window and open your garage door easily.
That's true.
Not that it's terribly difficult to open a garage door, but nevertheless, it's, it's worth it.
Another thing to minimize.
Especially if you put a studio in the garage, So that's it.
All right, so that's all the accessories you might want to get for a Tesla Model Y, maybe Model 3. That's it for today. I know I said I was going to make a short video today, but I didn't. See you tomorrow.